start the recording first. Okay, cool. Disclaimer, anything which we share here, me, the speaker or anyone else here, it's our own personal view, not related to any organization and entity where we are associated with. So keep that in mind. Don't take that as an official statement from our organization or something. Agenda for today, we have a quick introduction and recap. We will talk about data management, which Venkatesh will be talking today. And we will have a topic of the day, which I take generally in these sessions. And today I thought I will talk about a bit more about certifications. And then we have a Q&A, open Q&A where you can ask anything. And if we know, we will try to answer that. About me, I'm a fast tech solution architect at Microsoft, been in this industry for 12 years, been the former MVP. There are YouTube, LinkedIn, blog site. I think I have spoken too much about myself till now, so let me just skip. Quick recap, the last session, the session 2 which we had, we talked about, the expert topic was about the Copilot Studio in Dynamics 365 by Subhashish. It was a great session. If you haven't watched that, go to the YouTube and then watch that. Today's topic, the last day topic, we talked about a day in life of a functional consultant, which means if you are planning to be a functional consultant, is the product knowledge enough for you? Or there are more things you need to do as a functional consultant. We talked about that. Go and watch, because that's purely nothing related with your product knowledge. It's purely what else you need to become a very good functional consultant. And we had an open AMA. This is a playlist which is there for this session. So you can always go to my YouTube channel. You can find always. So can you post the playlist? Just go to my channel. You will definitely find this. And we will be sharing this PowerPoint as well with you. And there is a download. So these are the key resources where you have, I have created a blog. If you are starting your journey step by step, what you need to learn, all the curated videos list. This is the playlist, and the GitHub is where we are sharing all these files. So go and you can download. We are sharing certain templates, like last time I've shared the functional design document, IDD, RDD, a workshop template, and all those things. So those are available for you to download. So you can always go and download them. Okay, so let's start with today's topic. So today I have Venkatesh with me, who is going to talk about the data management in Dynamics 365 F&O. We have a 45 minutes today, right? So Venkatesh will try to cover as much as possible, right? But apart from that, there are a lot of resources or a lot of blogs I have created in the past and those things. So I'm going to put those also in the chat for your help, so that you can go and watch and read those things. But data management is very critical for any person who is maybe a finance consultant, supply chain, or any type of consultant. It is very important and a common topic, right? Now about the Venkatesh is very well known expert and the face in the Dynamics community. He runs his own one community, which is your Middle East group. And he organized a lot of great sessions. Today itself, he had one session. And I think in a month, once or twice, he's having sessions organized. So if you want to go and watch the sessions which he's organizing, they are very insightful for the people like who want to cover some advanced topic, right? So they pick up a very specific problem statement, and there is a session on that. So please do follow Venkatesh on LinkedIn, on his community channel, and the post he is doing on the LinkedIn. Okay, so without taking a lot of time, I will stop sharing, and then Venkatesh, over to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you so much for the brief introduction. Let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, this.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much for joining today on a weekend for a learning. So myself Venkatesh, I am a D365 solution architect and I manage a user group as Saurabh told you, D365 user group Middle East, and we can be seen on YouTube, LinkedIn. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have 12 plus years of experience on Microsoft Dynamics. So that's about me, and today we're going to do the session on data management intro. I'll try to cover as much as possible. If you still have some questions, feel free to reach out to us on the channel or LinkedIn. So me and Saurabh can be reachable there. So let me take you through more on the system side. I don't want to do much on the PPT. Let me take you to Dynamics. Hope my Dynamics screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
So on the landing page, you have, I don't want to give you an introduction on the landing page. And once you go to the workspaces, you have data management. Okay, so first thing before we go on to the system side, usually the implementation side, you might be doing an upgrade of an existing system, which is AX 2012 or an older version to Dynamics. So in that case, you need to move the data from one system to other system. Okay, so there are certain templates, and I'll explain you how the concept of data entities works in Dynamics. And from there, you need to extract the data, cleanse it, and then keep your new system clean. So you need to have the good data in the new system. So that is related to the master data. So I'll also explain you how we do it on the side of opening balances. So this part I'm going to take you through, and there are some hacks and tricks in the data management module which you can use in your day-to-day implementation side at your data phases. And there are certain tools which you can use within Dynamics to extract the data and import it. And maybe you have some integrations to do. There also this data management is helpful. So if you see my screen, this is the data management workspace. So there are certain functionalities. If you see, there is an import functionality, export functionality. So import is you wanted to bring in some data into the system that needs to be in a template, which is as per the data entity. So data entity is a small form of a table which is available in Microsoft Dynamics. So the data entity can have data from multiple tables, or it can be a single table split into multiple entities. Based on the length and based on the concentration of the data, it is split. So if you see, let me take you through the vendor master. Yeah, so vendors V2 is the entity. See, at times you need to remember the entity names also, because otherwise it will be difficult for you to identify. Otherwise, you can also do a search using the vendor name. In case of purchase order, you use purchase orders as in containing name, and then you can find it out. So what it contains. So when you go to entity, you can see, click on entity structure, and it will show you this is the source entity and what are all the fields available in the entity. So the toughest part when you do, okay, as I told you, upgrade from AX to Dynamics, it is easy because more or less the entities are table, the data is similar structure. But when you're doing from a different product, may it be a Navision to Dynamics import, Dynamics migration, or it can be from SAP, Oracle, any other product to the Dynamics. So that time it is very critical for you to analyze what field in Dynamics is linked to what field in the existing system, the legacy system, so that the mapping is clear. Then the data flows from that system to this system with accuracy. Okay, and it's also important, there can be duplicate records, there can be records which are not with correct data, there can be a spelling mistakes, there can be a junk data. So whenever you are migrating, so the idea is to have a template. So you can have an Excel template of this entities and create the data in Excel, and the users who are using the data has to cleanse it, make sure there are no duplicate records, make sure the data is clear, and then import to the new system. So for doing this activity, you need to understand the framework of data management, how it works. So now you see that, okay, if you see the vendors V2, there are address master. So address also has a split. What is the post box? What is the street? Everything is being mentioned here. So this is all being mentioned in vendor V2 entity. And also this is a standard entity But if you need some data which is combination of 2-3 tables, you can ask your technical to create a custom data entity also. Okay, so if you want a custom data entity, you can create, for example, there are 4 to 5 custom fields are added as a requirement. So those 4 fields can be added to a one more data entity. You can name it as vendor V3, and there you can map all these extra fields along with the standard fields and then use it for the migration. Okay, so this is the concept of data entities. And one important thing I wanted to explain, which is very rarely used feature, is the templates. So if you click on templates, so Microsoft itself has provided the most of the templates in the data management. Okay, so for example, I will show you one import template option. So if you click on import template, load default templates, you will see so many templates are being already created by Microsoft itself. So if you see the numbering, so it is for the system setup, GL, workflow, general ledger. This is GL shared setup and other than shared, and the cash and bank, accounts payable, tax, accounts receivable. I know it is a bit tedious for you to work, but once you get hands-on to work on these templates, it will be very easy to do a data migration. Okay, let me just add the basic one. So okay, I'm selecting load selected. It will take some time. Meanwhile, I'll show you the one which I have already loaded. Okay, so if you see the GL shared template, so these entities are mapped in a sequence in the execution level. Okay, for example, you wanted to import the chart of accounts. Okay, when you want to import the main accounts, you need the chart of accounts already created in the system. Without main account, you cannot do the chart of accounts. So without chart of account creation, you cannot import the main accounts. So based on this, there is a sequential numbering given by the Microsoft itself. If you see what is the level of execution and what is the sequence. So these two are the ones which are critical for you to do a migration. And usually I've seen people, okay, when I want to do an import, I will create the chart of account first, import it, and then do one more project in the data management and import the main account. So instead, you can have multiple templates, multiple data to be done at the same time. And you can see it is also mentioned what is the category of it, whether it is a reference, whether it is a master data, whatever it is. Okay, and this is only towards the setup. Okay, so it's not about the data, master data you are going to push to all the system. No, it's about only the setup part of it. So you can do setup in one legal entity manually, finish it off, and then there is an option called the copy legal entity option, or for that you can use the sequential data, which it will automatically copy to every legal entity, except in case of parameters. Parameters you need to manually map it up. Okay, so how this sequentials works. Okay, if you see here, chart of account is my execution number 1. Okay, like that you have the sequence. Sorry, everything is at 20, but if you see 10 is the first. So whatever you have marked in the 10 will go first. It will create the base records. For example, if you want to import vendor, you need to have the vendor group first. So vendor group needs to be imported first, and once the group is available in Dynamics, and then you can import the vendor master. The same way, if you see the dimensions, fiscal calendars, all these are the first, and then you can import the dimension format, translation, fiscal calendar period, the main accounts in the sequence, and then once your main accounts and dimensions are done, you can import the advanced rules structures for your dimension, validations on consolidations, financial dimension sets, number sequence. This is on the side of GL. The same way you see all the modules, the data is already there. Okay, at times I understand that all the data entities you may not be using it. So at the initial stage, what I recommend is to go through the list of the entities, check whichever is not relevant for you, remove the entity from the template, and use that as an execution order for doing the projects. Okay, for example, you have in the tax. So let's say there is no withholding tax applicable for your scenarios in the project. So remove those entities and keep the template clean. Okay, but you don't need to work from scratch because the template creation is already available in the Dynamics. So this template can be exported from one environment and can be used across all the environments also. And default templates are already available in all the applications. Whatever the environments you're using, you will have this option to load the default template. So quickly I can take 2-3 questions around the templates if anyone have, otherwise I'll move on.
I think one question, Venkatesh, is that what is the level in the execution unit? I mean, in your screen which you are showing, what's that third column? Is there level in the execution unit? And there is a question from Nilesh.
Yes, if you see the numbering, so the lowest will be picked first. For example, 30 and the sequence 10. That means under 30 to the 10 will be the first execution, and then we will have 20 and 30, 20 will be second execution. And at the end, whatever is the next available number is 130, it will go for the sequence. So like dependent masters, you have to import them first, and then submasters will be automatically imported in the next one. Like I explained to you, the chart of accounts should be available first, and then the main account execution can be done in the next execution. Hope I answered your question.
Yep. And next is Shashi. Do you want to ask your question?
Yeah. So I have two questions. One is
Yes.
like each entity will have different Excel format, right? Like it will be having a columns and rows and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the second question is like what are the different types of entity that are shown, and what is their like? I mean, you mentioned in brief, but what is their significance? Like there are different types of entities: master, reference, and there is one more something. It's a combination of our
And then reference is one of the category. See,
Okay.
master is like a base setup. It can be submaster or your master. But in case of data, it will be also be mentioned as a master. For example, main account is also a master. Chart of account is also a master. And if you see in GL, there is a reference also. It's like for a couple of things, the references are also there. Yeah, if you see this one, the control accounts, balance control accounts are the reference in the main account.
Okay. If I talk, from the hierarchy point of view in the template.
Can I request one part?
Yeah.
I think since we have
Nah.
limited time, let's keep
Yeah,
one
yeah,
question for
yeah,
one
yeah.
person. Yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah. So maybe we can go ahead. Poonam, you have your hands.
Yeah.
बराबर.
So I wanted to ask, how do we copy number sequence which are specific to the company?
Yes. So if you
એટલે તમારે
see
પેલા ભાઈ બોલાયા એ નથી આવવાના આના શું કહેવાય?
this one, the system setup, there you have all the number
Manoj,
sequence.
you are not on mute, right? Please, guys. I mean, keep this at least this discipline, right? That you are on mute if you are not speaking, and don't disturb others. Go ahead, Venkatesh.
Yep. No. So here you can see the number sequences. So it's a part of the system setup template, and here it can do the copying for all your legal entities.
So it will copy only the shared one. On if we have different number sequence setup for other legal entity, then number sequence will not be copied, and journal names will also be a problem to copy.
No, it will not copy the custom one,
Specific.
which is for the legal entity. It will only copy the shared ones.
Okay.
For the custom,
that-
you need to create them and then link it to them.
Okay. Can we copy journal names?
Yes, you can copy journal names.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to add, to others also, if they want to ask, anything which has got the data entity can be copied across legal entity, moved across legal entities. Let's put that way.
Correct. And we'll also show you how to do the copy legal entity functionality also.
Yeah. I think Venkatesh, since we have very limited time, right? So let's cover your demo parts as well because people would be more interested in looking at the actual demo. So let's show that,
Sure.
and then we can take the questions in the end.
No problem. I'll do that. So then we have the templates done. So let me go back to the data management again. So once your templates are set, you can use these templates in your import and export project. So let me do one export. See, the best part always I recommend is create one record manually in the system and then do the export. That way you are avoiding a lot of errors in the system. So this is out of the burnt hands we come after we do a lot of mistakes, we come to this process. Okay, let me do one vendors export project. Okay, add the data entity. So select the template as Excel, add it. So here you can add a template as well. So in case your template is working fine and you have modified all the things, and you can load a templates as well. Copy from the template, you can select the template and it will load all the templates, all the data entries in the template. So right now I will use export now because it's only one entity, which is always recommended to use in batch because the data is more. Then it can be generated sequentially.
And that's a very good tip. I think, sorry, Venkatesh, I think what you shared was very good. A lot of times, I think people were asking, like, how do we define our template, which we need to gather, like where we need to gather the data, right? And this is the right way. Identify your data entity, create some record manually, export the template with the data so that then when you share with your customer, you have a proper template with the sample data as well, so that they can fill in the data and then provide you, right? So that's a very important thing which Venkatesh just now explained, right? Keep that in mind in your real projects. Go ahead, Venkatesh, sorry.
No problem. So once you see there is a 104 records exported, you can click on the download file. This will download the data. Just click on download file again. So this is your vendor master data. So right now, whatever you have in the system, it is exported. So okay, the same tip which we told you. So don't give this full. Maybe remove, keep a 5 or 6 records and share the rest with your customers to fill in the data. So they know what to fill in each field. If you see in the data entity, there are a lot of fields. If you see till almost like 40-50 fields are there in the vendor master. You will not be able to explain them so many fields, what are the relevant for. So it is also important for you to cleanse them. Okay, make sure whatever is the mandate fields, you're not removing them, and whatever the dependent masters, those you are not removing them. So balance, you give the data so they can fill the based on the data. For example, if you see there's a vendor group field, you add the validation by yourself on that using the data in Excel and give them one more sheet to fill the data and with the validation. They will only be able to select the same master data from availability. So that way you'll have less issues, and try to ask them to do as low as possible on the manually creating the data. Ask them to export from the different system, do it. That way your data is clear. What happens at times, if you see here, if there is a dot or a space kept in the field, system will give you error while importing it, saying that there is a inconsistent data or the value is not matching with what it is supposed to be. So that case, if they are not doing the manual import, you will have a clear data import into the system. Otherwise, you will need to work on finding the spaces, finding the dots in between the spaces and things, and then you need to cleanse it and import it. Otherwise, there are some good tools which are like ETL tools, which you can use and export the data as well, which does the cleansing part and give you the clean data, which you can import directly in the system. Okay, now since the export is done, let me create one record and import also. I'll show you the process of import. Okay, now let's go to import project. I'll create. The same way this project, whatever you're creating, it can be reused. So it's whenever you need to do a vendor import and vendor export, you don't need to create a project again. So the one which we have created can be reused. Okay, I will create one new file. I'll just duplicate some records. I've created one import file. Let's go to Dynamics and import this. Close the file. It's getting uploaded. So there are some minor errors. It should be okay. You can click on import now. If the data size is huge, import in batch. Otherwise, you can click on import now. For now, since it's only 2 records, I'll give an import now. Okay, it's saying that it cannot insert because some DB error. Okay, account number is not matching. I have removed the account number, that's why it is not done. Otherwise, it will get imported. You will see a right mark, and whatever the errors you get, you will see the job details here. You can read the error and fix it in your file, create a new file, and then upload it. So it's always recommended to use a new file. That way it will get automatically nullified with the most of the errors. And you can also see, in case if it is been to staging data and the error is there, you click on the view staging data, it will show you the records, and it will also show you what the error on each line, if the field is missing or if the field is duplicate value and things. Then you can click again, validate them, and then push it back from this screen itself. No need to again import it from the Excel. Okay, and at any point of time you can come back and see the execution log also. How many times I have run this project and what is the error, what was the error, and how many records were pushed to the Dynamics. Everything is available in the execution log. So this is on the import and export side of the project. And then what I wanted to explain you on is, in case of integrations or things, how do you use data management? So there is an option, if you see here, integration. You can create a project. This will be created by a technical team. So let's say you are pushing the vendor data to a different system to give the data always. So you can set up the project, and that project can be having a frequency. Using the batch processing, you can tell every 1 hour you wanted to push the data, or every day, end of the day, you want to push the data. That frequency you can set on the batch job. Based on that, the project data will be pushed to that external system, provide the integration of API in place. And the same way, if you wanted to the data of, let's say, customer, I want it to come in from a different CRM system to push it to Dynamics. If you are using Dynamics CRM, you don't need to have a special project for doing it, because there is a dual write functionality which can bring in and create the data records automatically using the CRM. But if you are using any external CRM, like not Microsoft tool but different product, that time you need to have integration. The same way how you are doing the import functionality, export functionality, the same way import also works. And in case you have done any mapping of your data entities, so you can refresh the data entity mapping by clicking on the framework parameters. In the entity settings, you click on refresh entity list. So what it does is, for example, you have changed the mapping of a data entity. In the target fields, when I showed you, you have changed something. Okay, let me quickly open something. Let's say this is a chart of accounts data entity. And you can do a modified target mapping, where, for example, I wanted a different field to be inserted in this value based on the legacy system. So that you can modify it. Okay, now you have done many modifications, but you don't want to rechange it by one-on-one record. So in that case, what you can do is, so you can click on the refresh entity list. It will do all the refresh and put the relevant data in the data entity, and it will create the push in the system. So this is one good framework which you can use in data management, and this will take hardly minutes time to refresh your entire database of data entities. This is one of the good option in the data entity framework. And then the next important functionality which I want to showcase you is the copy legal entity functionality. So copy legal entity, how it works. For example, you have 3 legal entities in Dynamics to be created, and for the first entity you have done the configuration by manually creating the records in the setup. May it be your method of payment, may it be your chart of accounts, may it be your main accounts, everything you have done manually. Okay, now I don't want to create the same. Let's say, okay, 2-3 entities I can still think of doing it manually. Let's say your project has 20 to 30 legal entities to be created in the system, and I don't want one consultant to go manually create the same record in every legal entity. Okay, that way it's a very tedious job to do. Now what I can do, I can do the copy functionality, copy legal entity functionality in the Dynamics to copy the same data across all the entities, provided your master is same. Okay, let's say I'm taking off method of payment. And the source legal entity is USMF, where I have done the setup, and where I want to do the copy. You can do either creation of legal entities, which you can define the names and system will create entity and do the copying, or you have an option to do select existing. I always recommend to use a select existing company. So let me say I will select something, Contoso Entertainment. That's selected. You can see which entity it is done. Now you add that entity. Here the good part is you can also use a template to add complete copying functionality, but right now I will do only an entity. Add it and do the copy now. If the data entities are more, you can click on copy batch and do it. So this will save a lot of time in creating the same records of main master data of submasters in the system. You can do the same in the using this create legal entities option also, which will create entity, but I always recommend to use select existing so that it can do the repeating on its own. And you can come back after some time and check the status, what it is done and how much the data has been imported. If there are any errors, you can resolve it and fix it up and do the copy again. So this way, for maybe 10 to 20 legal entities, you can do it in a single day or two, except the parameters, which you need to manually do it for parameters, but all the master setups are done here. Okay, I think I have covered most of it. Now I'll take up the questions if anyone has.
I think, Venkatesh, is it possible, and sorry to put you on the spot, right?
No problem.
Maybe one screen and open in Excel, if you can just show, because people are asking, like, so just to clarify that you can do the import export with this data management framework, but on a day-to-day basis for the users, it is also possible to do the Excel add-in and open in Excel option, which is available on most of the screen. Maybe you can do vendor groups, simple. I think
Yeah, I'll do
would
that.
be
Yeah,
easy.
that's the one I'll do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And just to let you others know, same will happen for any of the other screen which you would do. So, I mean, Venkatesh, sorry to put you on a spot if you were not planning,
No,
but
no
let's
worries.
do that.
It's fine. Okay, now I have added the entity. You can see the Open Excel has been enabled. Now click on it.
Or,
So this is the good part. Yeah.
or you can show from, or this option is available from the actual vendor group form in the Dynamics. I
Okay,
think
so direct.
yeah,
direct
let's show from there. Yeah. So this is one option, but let's say now you want to just utilize the interface without going there. So you have this Excel add-in option here. So yeah. Or if any, I mean, I don't know if that is available, but let's see. If not, yeah.
It is available. It will be there.
Yeah.
So you will see two options, whether export to Excel and open in Excel option. Whatever works in open in Excel is live integration with your dynamic screen. I'll open the download file. So this will also check your access, what ID you are using in Microsoft Office, and the ID should be same as per your Dynamics. Then only this add-in can work. When you are using for the first time, it will ask you to trust the add-in, trust it, and then it will check your access and it will do the authentication and it will do it. So let me sign in for the first time. Just a minute, it's taking time.
And it is possible that it might have a lot of data, so that's where it is taking time. So always it is recommended that if you have more data, use the data management rather than Excel add-in for this purpose.
I think did I open the wrong one? No, correct only. Yeah, if you see here, it created. So let me say, okay, I want to recreate this value. Okay, but duplicate it will not allow. I'll put it 60. Intercompany vendors to just giving a rename. So now this record is not there in this screen in the Dynamics. So now what you can do, you have added a value and you can click on publish. So system will analyze and it will do the publishing. So once you can see the data change is analyzed and it is published. Now you go to Dynamics and go to the vendor screen, refresh. Something wrong, but ideally it will create the same record in the Microsoft Dynamics as an extra record. If you click on this refresh button, you will see that publish automatically happening here. So this is the advantage. You don't need to have so much of effort in doing the data from the data management. Yes, I know that consultants have the handy practice using the data management, but if you want to train someone of the business user to do this, this is the best way to do it using Excel add-in. And we have showed you one example of vendor group, but you can actually do the transactions also from this, importing your general journals, importing your purchase order headers, purchase order lines, everything can be done here. And this is also the good part. This template you can rename and save it in your system. Every time you open it and put the data and publish it, it will work. And the templates here is also having very flexibility. You can do a designer. If you click and you want to add extra fields or remove the fields from the template, that is also possible. It will show you all available fields from your master data template, and there you will see all the list. I'll show you, and you can click and add certain fields whatever you require, and you can remove as well. So if you see here the vendor group, you can click on edit, entity options. Okay, just a second, add fields. Click on add. So you can see these are all the fields which are available on the system. So you can click on anything and double click, it will get added, and you click done, it will get added. So let me add this one, description. I think those fields are already available, and you click done. So it gets added. Just click on the refresh, you will see the data relevant to whatever is there in the Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, with this I have done with my Excel add-in as well. Now me and Saurabh take the questions, and if you anything functionality or any specific issue you have in your data management, we can take it up.
Thank you, Venkatesh. I think it was really helpful. At least it gives the kind of overview to the people like what this tool can do. And definitely I have put a lot of blocks link for a specific thing, data template, create your own Excel, and data migration, what entities typically are considered. So go and view them. It is a very vast topic. It is not possible to have in 1 hour, but to start with, I think you got the fair understanding of this. And we are going to share this PowerPoint with you. So I have added all those links in this template, in this file also. So when you will receive this thing, then you can go to the GitHub folder, and then you can always download from there. Okay. Now maybe we can, for 5 minutes, we can take few questions on this topic, and then we move to the next segment of our today's session. Go ahead. I think Dolly, you have your hands up. So
yes, thank you Saurabh and Venkatesh for this wonderful session. I have a question, like if we download the entity from suppose vendor group, and there are many fields like which needs to fill, but instead of sharing all the columns with the customer or user, can we remove unnecessary columns and can ask for the mandatory fields and then can upload so it will not show any error?
That's the best practice you should do. So export, remove what is not required, what's not applicable, and share that only. That's it.
Okay, so system will not show any error if we don't add any field.
Any field, only except mandatory one, right? So let's say if you are doing the vendor master vendor group is not added in the template, it won't allow, right? That's a basic thing, right? But apart from that, let's say I don't know, like segment, sub-segment, some fields are there. If you skip them, it's absolutely fine.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No worries. Any other question? Anyone? No?
Saurabh, so when we export product category, we can just the products which are directly linked to the category, like product category assignment, can be exported. But the main category, which we create manually in the system, that we don't have any entity for that. So I think it's, I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to ask.
I think it is, and what I remember, it is difficult to find out because it has got a hierarchy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So I have used in my one of the project. I don't have handy that there was one blog written by someone, but it is possible. Just to confirm that, yes, it is possible to import even the hierarchy at multiple levels.
I think it's a product category hierarchy. So that's
Yes, something eco res something. I don't exactly remember, but yes, it is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, Nitin, go ahead. Nitin,
Yeah,
and
thank you,
Sumita, two
sir.
questions we will talk and then we will move. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you,
Nitin.
sir. Thank you, Venkat. So currently, I'm working on a requirement where I need to send invoice to one mail ID and account statement to different mail ID. I'm trying to upload bulk these mail IDs, but I'm not able to find different way to upload this customer account email ID based on purpose. We have created new purpose, but how do
I
we
think
upload the
postal
email IDs
address.
based on purpose?
Go to postal
It
addresses,
is not
the
there.
related tables.
I've searched in postal address, I've searched in contacts V3 and all those entities, but I was not able to find the exact one.
No, what
Party
is
ID
not
did you
there?
try?
Venkat?
Party ID did you try? Party V2 and
No.
all?
No, party we have not tried. I'll check that party.
It could
Okay.
be
And even
available
what is,
later.
if you can tell us what is the issue, then quickly we can.
It's just that I'm not able to. I'm not able to find where do I upload. How do I upload this data? First, uh, based on the business purpose, I have uploaded the primary mail IDs. Based on the other purpose, I am not able to find how to upload that entity. That's the issue.
Okay. Maybe we can take this offline. You can reach out to Venkatesh possibly over LinkedIn, right? And
Yeah, sure,
Venkatesh,
sure.
I would suggest you to put your LinkedIn profile in the chat so that people
Sure.
can reach out.
Sure, I'll do that.
Sure,
Maybe
sure.
we'll take
Thank you,
one
sir.
or two questions. Sumita, I mean, if you can quickly take this one question.
Hi Saurabh, hi Venkatesh. My question is, can we automate this process using a Power Automate just to avoid this manual process? If so, does that really work practically?
Yeah, it works. You can do anything. So all the integration which Venkatesh was explaining is the
Okay.
automated only, right? So, but there are different ways, Power Automate or whatever. Maybe there are APIs or there are. I'm not too technical, but there are integration patterns where you can automate these things. Definitely, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Next is Yeldum, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If you want to go next.
Yes, hello. Thanks for the session, first of all. And I would like to ask, what is the best practice for importing party postal addresses, like this kind of data? Because first I need to import my vendors, for example, and then I need to get the party ID from the system, and then I need to use that party ID to import the multiple postal addresses per vendor, for example. But there's a manual work, and I need to first import the vendors and then export and then match it with the vendor ID to the party ID in the party postal address data template. And once we did that, it was overwriting some data in other tables in the system, and I wonder what is the best practice here to avoid such issues.
See, that's very good question. First of all, thanks for asking that. And you are absolutely right. When we are doing this one time, it is very much important. It is, see, I always say the data import is more than the system data management framework, it is a more Excel work or the cleansing and extraction which you do, right? So I don't know from this framework perspective that there is any other way, but definitely you need to keep in mind that whenever you are using the party IDs and things, right? You keep in mind, keep a track what party type is associated with that party ID. So it's a vendor, customer, or whatever it is, right? Because every record creates your party ID in the system. So keep in, I think one quick thing which I would like to say, that keep a record or track of which type of the record is connected with that. So that if you have a party ID for customer and then you are importing vendor, you don't use that and then import your data wrong places, right? Or attach with the wrong places. So that is one key thing. Apart from that, yes, it is a bit manual and Excel thing which you need to manage, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries. I think last question, Ashwini, and then we have to move to the next segment. So we'll maybe in the end we can take, because sorry about that, we can take your question in the end possibly.
Yeah, thank you both of you. So I have facing couple of times regarding the data management. I did create some couple of custom data entities. Okay, so I can't see those custom data entities in the entities. So I did refresh the data entity list even though I can't see. Is there any reason?
I don't think so. It says are you a developer?
Yes, I am a developer.
So you are the reason.
No.
See, maybe there's some privilege or access thing, adding it in the right place is also missing. That way it gets missing at times. But if you follow the best practice in creating the data entity, it should not have any such issues.
It should be available, Ashwini. I mean, just jokes apart, because since you are designing that, it should be ideally available for you once you refresh your data entities, you know. Okay, let's move to the next one, and thank you so much, Venkatesh, to take out the time today and share your knowledge and experience with the people here on data management. It was a very critical topic for the people to understand. Now with that, we are moving to the next segment, and I will stop the recording.